Many people have been looking for the next big thing in gaming, something that be compared to the likes of Citizen Kane and Citizen Kane. But in this pursuit, I feel many people have been misguided and have labeled certain games incorrectly. However, I believe that I have truly found what could be considered, without a doubt, the Citizen Kane of gaming. Lomando is an online-only, single-player, experimental, art house horror game developed by David Cage where you must travel through pop-ups and psychological quandaries of the subconscious. What separates Lomando from your standard pop-up fare is that each pop-up in Lomando has a psychological and story reason to be there. Now take this one for example. You may be confused and you may be crying inside, but believe in yourself, and I believe that you will be able to find the message behind this pop-up. Now this pop-up actually represents the American Depression, but what does this Japanese online-only horror experimental art house game have anything to do with America? Well, you see, this is where things get complicated. See, there's just one puzzle in the game which requires you to watch a video to put in a password, but how can you do that if you're a non-Japanese person? Well, there's actually an American version of the puzzle, and this is the major clue right here. You see, this represents how America forced Japan into the internment camps, which then led to the Great Depression. And see, this is a major theme of the game, which I think the game handles very well throughout the course of its narrative in the experimental art house horror game. And speaking of that narrative, I might as well move on to how brilliantly this game handled its narrative themes and the quality of the writing inside the narrative itself. The narrative here brilliantly uses the previous game's lore to subvert expectations and deliver a story that could only be delivered through this medium. It's something that Citizen Kane itself, the majesty of Citizen Kane, the brilliant Citizen Kane, the 10 out of 10 Citizen Kane couldn't accomplish by itself. And the way it uses the previous game's lore to twist your expectations and also to subvert twist onto themselves really makes for a memorable gaming experience that will stay with you for 11 years. But enough about the brilliant cinematic story of Citizen Kane. Let's talk about the gameplay now. Now the gameplay is actually quite surprisingly standard AAA horror quality, which is quite strange with the brilliant AAA narrative which subverts all expectations. At the very least, the gameplay is fun enough to keep you playing through the brilliant storyline, and that's all we want from games. We don't want good gameplay, we want good stories because the gameplay is supposed to be bad. Now my final rating for this game took quite a while to come up with because of this game. It's just this game, it's so different, it's so unique. So after much consideration, I'm gonna give a Lomando, Spec Ops The Line out of the next Citizen Kane of gaming. Thanks for watching, and I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm gonna fall off. See you next time.
Okay, this is getting out of control up here. Just out of control. Is that on?
Yeah.